It's about to be some truthful hurt on this one. Let's go ahead and talk Super Bowl. Super Bowl halftime show. Big announcements.
Mm-hmm. The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room, and everybody's panties are in a fake bunch.
I think they really are in a bunch, honestly.
You think they are they in a fake? Well, we'll discuss. Yeah. But it was announced that Kendrick will be the halftime performer for the upcoming Super Bowl. That will be held in the great city of, or hosted, I should say, in the great city of New Orleans.
Yes, indeed.
And we all know New Orleans has a very rich hip hop history.
Master P.
Musical history.
Shout out to Master. Musical history, but just for the sake of hip hop. Master P. Shout out to Cash Money. Shout out to Manny. Everybody, all of that. And
Mr. Marcello.
Currencies from around that way too.
He is.
Yeah.
The
Neville brothers.
Nice.
Cain and Abel.
Hey,
well,
the whole roster.
Yeah, hey, it's another set of brothers.
Do that. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. But I say that to say everybody's upset because Wayne.
Not everybody.
Well, we're being dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic off some of these adults that I see, man. They're very upset.
Quite a few people.
I'm not upset, so I'm not everybody.
But you hate people.
You don't like people. He's never running for office.
Is anybody at this table mad that Lil Wayne is not?
No, I'm not mad at all.
Not at all.
Okay, so now that that's out the way.
We can get to it now. Yeah. But yeah,
But we hating.
Yeah, I guess we'll be hating after this one.
Are we Lamarists?
Oh, of course.
Shout out to Jesse.
Shout out to Jesse.
He told me to give him a shout out today because he's one of those people that had an interesting take on it. So shout out to Jesse.
Shout out to Jesse. Yeah.
We love you, man. Keep up the good work. Anyway, the outrage, man, to me, this is my personal opinion about this, and then we can just toss it around.
Okay.
I don't understand why people are mad at Jay-Z.
Because they don't know. They really don't know. But go ahead.
I don't understand that. I don't understand the fake outrage with like Wayne is owed the Super Bowl, because you can make an argument he was hotter than he is now in 2013 when the Super Bowl was in New Orleans. Didn't see any.
I don't think that really matters though.
The reason I'm saying is because
was he available to do the Super Bowl at that time?
I don't know how that lines up, but if he was...
No, I mean, he had some things going on at that time.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because I didn't see any picketing for New Orleans artists back then, which makes me think...
There's a different metric, though, but keep going.
The reason I'm saying is because that goes to the fake outrage. I don't buy it. I just don't buy people are that upset because Wayne can't perform at the Super Bowl this year. I just don't buy it. But y'all can have...
I get it.
Not saying... Because Lil Wayne on the Super Bowl... in New Orleans now over Kendrick Lamar doesn't make sense to me.
No, see, I understand the outrage and why people are upset about this. Because, you got to understand, a lot of people are Lil Wayne fans and have been for quite some time. But just because the Super Bowl is in your city does not mean that you're going to perform there, even state. Because, when it was here, I want to say Madonna performed.
It's Madonna and MIA.
Okay. So why didn't John Cougar Mellencamp perform here?
Yeah.
Or maybe Axl Rose could have got
there you go.
Guns N' Roses together and they could have performed here.
Thank you.
Nobody cares. And it wasn't a thing until Jay-Z was in position.
Bingo.
That's the situation that we have here. So the Jay-Z is in position to program these shows and has been since 2020, I believe.
Or to help to some extent. I don't know what exactly. It's a committee though, isn't it?
Yes. So he's not the end all be all. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So he's like a musical director.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been in charge of this since 2020. And everyone that he's put on since then has been pretty good. Minus the J-Lo one was kind of suspect. But
Shakira.
Yeah, that was cool. But people were upset about that because of what they had on. But anyway, it's not all the way up to Jay-Z to decide who gets to perform at the Super Bowl. It's not his job or his he's not the only one holding the torch. He doesn't make the final decision. But what I've seen online is a lot of people in their feelings about Jay-Z holding Lil Wayne back, which is crazy because look, he just paid his taxes like a few years ago or something.
Yeah, he's always been a champion.
Such a terrible argument. Such a terrible argument.
And he knows how Lil Wayne looks up to him and pretty much positioned him to be in a position to take on the title of the best rapper alive when Jay decided he retired. Now, of course, Jay came back, but Lil Wayne had that much reverence for Jay-Z to kind of wait until he stepped aside to be the one.
Jay was trying to sign Wayne. Don't forget about that.
Yes.
So that's another reason as to why this doesn't make any sense.
Nah, and it's people are saying that Jay-Z's a hater and he doesn't like Lil Wayne or nobody there, and he doesn't want them to succeed. How are you saying that to a man that is a billionaire that is the head of music for the NFL, but he's a hater? He's hating on this other man that does music as well.
He doesn't have any reason or cause.
Nothing.
You know
Nothing
what I
at all.
mean? Like, yeah, I don't.
How does he benefit from hating on Lil Wayne? I don't understand
And
that.
who's to say that he's not going to be part of this situation?
See, that's what I think a lot of people have lost is they just automatically saw Kendrick Lamar, and I think a lot of people they don't know it, but because they had to jump out and have a take immediately, they've burned some bridges.
Oh, they're gonna be mad at us tonight because there's a certain Nicki Minaj went completely nuts.
But I know what you know what that's about. Because
What's that about?
I don't though.
Okay, because Jay is, the head of Rock Nation. She's mentioned stuff about, but y'all wanted to go to brunch and this, that, and the third.
Yep.
And the problem with Nicki Minaj and Rock Nation is because Megan Thee Stallion is with Rock Nation.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There we go.
And so that's where it turns into something else. She talking about give a young black man a chance. Wayne is in his 40s at this point, isn't he?
Kendrick is a young black man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Like they made it seem like you put the Muppets or what's the kid, Tommy Richmond? Yeah, like y'all gave him the Super Bowl with the.
Let me sing about the Super Bowl.
or they gave it to, or they gave not to G-Eazy. What's the other kid who had a couple?
Macklemore?
The kid from Kentucky.
Oh, Jack Harlow.
Jack. It'd be like, okay, if you gave Jack Harlow the Super Bowl.
I can't believe you're trying to keep a brother down.
Yeah, you
like, you sound stupid with that.
He didn't
tweet.
give it to Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
and she gonna be there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's at the
That's
Chiefs.
foreshadowing.
Yeah,
I said, it is.
that's it. That's if the NFL script writers get it right.
Yeah.
But
Jason Kelsey gonna have a 16.
it's just like, okay, when it's
Travis Kelsey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's so you people have their own agendas, and like I said, because I saw so much chatter. I don't know why I was on Twitter so heavy yesterday or whatever it's X. Whatever.
Because it was jumping.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, but I was like, you can draw a straight line from Baby not paying the Neptunes for the What Happened to That Boy beat straight to Kendrick doing the Super Bowl.
7 degrees of separation.
And it's like
not Kevin Bacon.
It's just crazy how people have gotten all in their feelings about it, and I think it was because well, Dre got to do it. He got to do it in L.A.
Eminem stood up for 50 Cent.
And it's like
be in it.
And once again, first of all, y'all have to remember the NFL, this Super Bowl. This is not for fans of this. It's not it's not really for fans of music. It's barely even for fans of football. This is a corporate event every year.
Capitalism.
Yeah, there we go. And so for you to think that this is something about
Lil Wayne's a risk, man.
this is also a thing.
I wouldn't even say it's more so, not that he's a risk, but he's not going to be. Listen, if you, I've seen both of them live. I've seen Kendrick live and I've seen Lil Wayne live. Lil Wayne puts on a good show
Sometimes.
but yeah, I've seen some footage.
Mm-hmm.
Dude up in league on the sheet. I can tell it if I'm acting out right, cause I ain't got time.
Every Kendrick show that I've seen, Kendrick gets out there and puts on the show, even whether it's in person or the one that was televised, and not the one that was just televised, but the one he did for Miss Morale and the Big Steppers. Right?
Yeah, but it's also like there's this weird segment of hip hop that, because I don't know if they resent Kendrick because of all of his success.
They do.
Because that was about to be my question to all of you.
Because like they're
In
like
relation
nobody,
to
they're like
Drake and Young Money, and
they're
all
like
that
nobody
stuff.
listens to Kendrick. I was like, what are you all talking
It's
about?
my belief that the grown men and adults around the world, some young ladies as well, would not be this frustrated if Kendrick wasn't coming off the They Not Like Us success.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yes.
80% of this is y'all are just still mad about that, which we haven't covered in months because it's been over with as far as we're concerned.
And even further from that,
Like the Drizzlers are just mad at this point.
The Drizzlers?
Yeah, those are the Drizzies, the Drizzlers, whatever you want to call them.
but even further, all the people that had to concede,
Oh yeah.
that are Drake stans, that had to concede that Kendrick actually got him, have been waiting. And to me, this is like another one of those pieces that people that don't really like Kendrick that much, but kind of had to not come all the way out. They had to tuck the criticism a little bit because he got knocked out. I mean, Drake got it was a knockout.
It didn't go to the judges. He got knocked out.
I promise y'all. But I promise y'all, man, the outrage would not be this big if he wasn't coming off that. If somebody was like, "Yo, we're gonna do Kendrick Lamar for the Super Bowl," the hip hop heads would be like, "Yo, this is dope, man. It's good for the culture." Blah blah blah. Coming off. They Not Like Us in this Drake situation. Now everybody in the feelings.
That's because too they think the only song that he has is They Not Like Us.
Like, are y'all dumb?
They really don't rock with Kendrick like that. I know that's surprising for people like us to hear, but they don't listen to Kendrick, man. They really don't. Yeah. So I mean, when you have somebody, that has a catalog like himself that's performing at Super Bowl, he has enough material to do that. People on the outside looking in that don't rock with him can't see it. All they know is Lil Wayne had a run and he was the biggest rapper at one point in time. You couldn't stop Young Money from doing anything. He was so good. He could even make a rock album that nobody really liked, but they still messed with it because it was Wayne. Wayne had his moment of time where he was the top of the totem pole.
For sure.
And that's undeniable. But what's going on now, honestly, Kendrick is catching a stray on this.
He really kind of is.
Yeah, because this really has nothing to do with Kendrick at the end of the day.
Did you guys notice that?
This is about the South feeling like they're not, I mean, specifically New Orleans, but the South feeling like they're being little boyed in hip hop again. Like they've always had this thing, even when they are running, which they have been doing for a long time. Like it's always like, man, they don't respect us. They don't do this. They don't like. And once again, this is about capitalism. This has nothing to do with the politics of hip hop. Because you got to and the funny thing to me is Wayne don't even root for the Saints.
He's a Packer fan.
He's a Packers fan. He don't even go to the game. So why are we going to get all? But that's neither here nor there.
And that's the ones that had the final say.
It's the team in the city that really depends.
Who's going to be the performer at halftime. Yeah, it comes down to the city officials or whoever that committee is. It's not on Jay-Z. And unfortunately, if Jay wasn't in the position that he's in, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
It wouldn't.
If somebody else had this job,
it'd be up with people of the Muppets.
There would be no uproar about, why is Kendrick performing at the Super Bowl?
I mean, the white people would be mad, but they're always mad.
Yeah, they're going to be mad
anyway.
Got me there.
Did you guys notice when we started talking about the topic, it's not even about
It's not
about Kendrick.
No,
I didn't lead in talking about Kendrick.
No.
He's going to take care of business on the Super Bowl. This is about the other part, to me. Has nothing to do with him.
I think, though, if I could play a little bit of devil's advocate, because I never get to do this.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of agree with the outrage, not in the sense of how it's being displayed.
Okay.
But in the sense that I think it is really cool. And this is coming from somebody who's been a part of not directly connected to committees and stuff like that, but been a part of events planned by people.
Selection process.
In stuff like that.
A gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Facts.
Well, I've never been that, but I've been a part of events that were curated by people in the city that put things together around events like this, right? And I think that I would like more of this in that from that angle. So as much as I agree with everything that we're saying here, I do think it would be super dope if whenever they went to a Super Bowl or whether it's an all-star game somewhere or wherever they go to different places, that it was like a really cool representation of the culture of said city. Or
like
whatever.
how we did for all-star game.
Yeah, what we did, right? But I mean on a more grand national scale.
Right. Yeah.
So like if you go to New Orleans and it really is Lil Wayne and who knows, maybe it's a No Limit reunion. That's not going to happen.
Is that the Super Bowl that you want?
Is it really?
No, that'd be terrible.
But is that the Super Bowl y'all want?
Lil Wayne's festival that he throws in New Orleans is actually going to feature the Hot Boys.
I think that's dope. But
I'll be hyped for that. But is that the Super Bowl?
But what I'm saying is again, I'm taking it away from the corporate capitalist argument, which is what you're saying right now.
Gotcha.
Is that what everybody wants? I don't care about what everybody wants to see. I think it's important. I think it's important to showcase the culture of the cities and the people of said things, because a lot of times get pushed to the side. And I say this coming from somebody being in a small market, right?
Right.
We have a lot of talent here that big money comes in here, all the talent that's here gets pushed aside to other people that you bring in, and that money, even though the Super Bowl doesn't pay anybody, that virtual currency, if you will, that
cultural cachet.
That gets pushed into other people's hands instead of like highlighting all of the cool stuff that is happening within the city. I feel like it's a lazy approach to be like, this person is the biggest thing, let's go and just put them on there. That's not going to change. And there's different approaches to this, don't get me wrong, but I think it would be cool if you went to New Orleans, and Lil Wayne's never done it, if it was Lil Wayne and I don't know who else.
But what if the Southern Jaguars or Xavier University, somehow there's some representation there? Is it because it's not your
Marching
Southern
band
hip? Yeah, it's not because
they're not like us.
Yeah.
Southern is phenomenal.
And
Southern
so,
is phenomenal.
is it because you didn't acknowledge New Orleans or Louisiana hip hop, or do you?
I think it could be a mixture. Like depending on who's putting it together, this could be a thing. You know what I mean? Like whoever's curating this thing is somebody that curates things like this, and if they're injected into the culture of their city, they know. Okay, let's get Wayne for this. Cool. Let's also get these people over here that are going to be playing these instruments. Let's also put some choreography that's relevant to all the other stuff that's going on. Mesh all that stuff together and put it together. Now, granted,
I think that probably actually happens though.
It's going to happen.
Probably to some extent.
It probably doesn't happen on the big
on
stage.
That stage
when you're actually at the
city.
Super Bowl, but it's going like we had a whole Super Bowl village for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, for sure.
Where our city was pretty much on front stage.
Right.
True.
Where we had stages in the streets where some of our local people perform.
Absolutely.
I mean, granted, we don't have a big national act hip hop wise here.
Yeah.
But there were people that were involved in different situations that shine light on our city. Mm-hmm. Now, Lil Wayne will be involved in this in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe.
On the main stage, I think he will, because I mean he's been on ESPN. He does the show where he did with
Skip Bayless.
With Skip Bayless.
Yep.
So I think he's going to be involved in some way, shape, or form. But it's also the metrics of what kind of hip hop he brings to the table. How much muting are we going to have to do while he's doing this performance? Mm-hmm. If he brings on the Hot Boys, how much muting are we? Or do we want to just sit there and watch we see it, but we can't hear anything?
I think
when everything is being muted.
But I think for that argument, I think they work on this show for a long time, so I'm sure that there's probably a lot of boards and stuff that it has to pass before anything gets to that point, I would guess.
I mean, I've seen a titty pop out at the Super Bowl, so
yeah.
You saw how crazy the world went just because a flash of a titty came out, and then all of a sudden, like FCC laws were changed, and there was all these letters, and people complained like that titty changed laws.
It did.
Let me ask y'all a question.
Expensive titty.
Let me ask y'all a question as it relates to
Ms. Jennifer
Wayne.
Asking.
Let's say Kendrick's set they're working on it or whatever, and I think it'll be fine. Let's say Wayne does pop up.
That's why I say these people are burning bridges they don't even understand.
Like Wayne pops
it's
up.
It's week 1 of the NFL, and we're talking about the Super Bowl.
This is selective outrage at the end of the day. But
so if Wayne pops up and does a milli or something like that in between Kendrick's set, he's changing sets or whatever,
he wouldn't do it because that would in turn be a smack in the face of Drake. So I'm thinking that he's going to be involved in some way, shape, or form. But it won't have something. It won't be on Kendrick while Kendrick is on the field.
Yeah, it won't be the half. It won't be that.
That's what I was. Show. That's where I was going.
And guys, but this is 13 minutes. 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
calm down.
It's just a halftime show at the end of the day. Like.
But I kind of get where they're coming from, because I'm like, the same way I was super critical of the NBA for having Jennifer Hudson at the halftime of the All-Star game. I was like, what were you thinking about?
Yeah, but you're just thinking I'm just pretty much from the thought that it could have been a better artist.
Yeah, and it wasn't because she wasn't from Indiana or she didn't have any ties culturally here, but I'm like, this is the NBA All-Star game. You got somebody who's not even known. She's a talk show host at this point. She's not even really I mean, she's always going to be a musical artist.
Right.
But like, her biggest hit to me is like the song from Dreamgirls. Like, she's got a couple records, but nothing to where I'm like, oh yeah, Jennifer Hudson killed that. Sorry, I didn't. Jennifer Hudson, I think you're great. I don't mean to have you catching strays right now.
Apologize to Common.
Yeah,
please apologize.
And Common said, hey, she, there's a difference between personal criticism and artistic criticism.
I'm not saying anything about her as a person.
He actually said that in an interview once.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know my devil's advocate was way out there, and I don't even fully agree with it, but. But I do think that it would be kind of cool if it would be, and most cities do it. We do it here, obviously, but it would be cool to see. I don't know. I think it just gives it more of a homey type feel. You know, like why else are you going to that city? You're going to different cities because there's different cultures in different areas and different teams are different, you know, like, I don't know.
And I think it was Juvie that said he wasn't mad at Jay-Z. I believe he said, I'm at the
smart man.
He said he's mad at the people above
that
him.
hired him.
Yeah.
And the people that are above him.
Talking about Roger Goodell.
Yeah, Roger Goodell.
And the fact that people come to the city and just milk the culture and all that type of stuff, and just milk the New Orleans culture. But he was very wise. I like how he said it. It ain't about Jay. It's about the people above Jay.
But a lot of this is personal agendas. Like I said, I mean, that's what it is. Nicki is upset that Rock Nation did this, and Rock Nation also has a tie to Megan, and she doesn't feel anything. She has a beef with Megan, and so it's like you'll talk. It's not like Lil Wayne is never going to get his just due in this industry. Like I said, you talked about him like he's some kid that's just trying to get on.
He's
I was like,
graduating.
Lil Wayne is a whole legend, man.
You know,
He was just here for All-Star Weekend performing right before the game. So
He's a whole legend.
I mean, a lot of people's personal agendas are being exposed. There's a lot of people who, I mean, because like 𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐿 was upset.
Come on,
and I was
man.
like, man, what? I mean, nothing against him either.
Nobody wants to see him.
But
on
it's like,
stage.
what,
How
did you
you know?
think you were supposed to, get on? And
Hey, Bay might go at the Super Bowl. though.
nah, it'll go. Boosie mad.
I don't know
I
why
didn't hear
Boosie
none of it.
did.
𝐻𝐿𝐻Riss mad.
But I'm just saying, once
Okay.
again, a lot of people don't realize it's like, if you could have just held it for, like I said, you've burnt bridges. Maybe someone was going to reach out to you, but now that you felt like you wanted to say, like, I've always been a person that's like this. If somebody's burning a bridge, like, you don't have to burn it from the other side. You can just walk away.
Man, Nicki walked on that bridge with gasoline.
Yep.
She will never get a
She
look
calling
again.
people, really is terrible. Like
She jumped all the way out the window on this one.
And so I
She used the word house and the hard ER.
yeah,
didn't she?
like, so she said some
did,
things that
Long,
just
she
made
did.
me
And we're talking about Kendrick. See, this is what bothers me the most. This is why I have to insert Kendrick back into this situation.
yeah.
Is because your spite for this man because he didn't put Lil Wayne on this stage and it didn't have anything to do with him at the end of the day. He could have gave them the options and they picked who they picked. Your spite for that man got you calling him all kinds of crazy shit when we're talking about the Pulitzer Prize winning hip hop artist by the name of Kendrick Lamar that is going to be performing, who has had politically charged messages in his songs. But you have that to say about Jay.
And then, like, if you want,
That's crazy.
If you really want to contrast things, I've heard Lil Wayne on more than one say, "Hey, racism is not a problem in this country," and you got a picture with you in an ill-fitting cardigan standing next to Donald Trump.
Come on, man.
So, and that's
tough
fine.
right
Like,
there. That's tough.
Look, Lil Wayne, you did that because you didn't want to go back to jail or you wanted to be pardoned. I get it.
You talking about I've never witnessed racism, Lil Wayne?
Yeah,
He did say that out loud.
And so, like, when you talk about people who've made statements that are not in support of the culture, if you will, Lil Wayne has been, and don't get me wrong, I've heard when he had some things to say during, the whole Hurricane Katrina thing. Like, okay, yeah. Maybe we're moving into some political situations here, but like, as of late, you just been trying to stay out of jail and stay in the good favor of white sponsorships, just like everybody else. So please don't have Nicki Minaj jumping out of the window talking about these people are house N-words and this, that, and the third, and one person took a knee and somebody else took a bag.
She looks really bad.
Like, you can't talk that talk when your guy is the one with the high definition picture standing next to Donald Trump.
And Nicki could have very well been on that stage at some point in time. And,
easily.
It's a wrap for that.
Yeah. Like, once again, when you go scorched earth and like you burn, like, it gets to a point where you could really burn bridges in this entertainment industry, and people don't forget. Like, so okay, you talk bad about all those people at that brunch. There's a lot of people at that brunch that make decisions about how things move in movie.
I don't even know what any of this is.
The
but-
Rock Nation brunch.
Yeah, I mean,
that happens right before the Grammys.
She just didn't get invited. Is that what it is? or
Well,
something?
because once again,
Because
Rock Nation.
Megan Stallion
There you
was?
go.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. It's all connected in that way. So, I mean, this was for her. I don't even think this was really about Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, or the Super Bowl. It was about the fact that the people who she does not rock with did not acknowledge somebody that she thinks deserves to be acknowledged. So, and I don't want to just leave it on Nicki because I know her and her fans are on some different stuff.
Yeah.
But, I just think this is So like here it is.
It's premature.
This is a great, honestly.
It's hell.
When I saw it, I was like, Kendrick Lamar, a rapper getting a solo spot at the Super Bowl. This is fantastic.
Celebrate it.
And here it is. We found some way to start tearing each other down over this thing that we should be celebrating.
Don't nobody want to hear they not like us at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I heard someone actually like they did a whole videos like how like they not like us was pushed on. No, it wasn't. Like I see how, like
Kendrick
I said,
pushed it on you.
I see how the culture moves in real time.
Yeah.
You can only do when they can push the button, but it doesn't always work. Trust me, I know about that as well.
Yeah, man.
You know, they've tried to push the button on several songs this summer and it didn't work.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna sit here and lie and act like it wouldn't have been dope for Lil Wayne to headline.
Wayne, a whole legend. Yeah,
that would have been real dope. That would have been nice.
And if Drake had won the battle,
he just didn't get it this time.
If Drake had won the battle, there's a good chance he might have done it.
Drake got the records that'll eat the Super Bowl up.
Yeah.
So he'd be fine.
Look, Drake, maybe you can do the Grey Cup. He can do the halftime of the CFL.
Do that.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Grey Cup Drizzy.
Yeah.
He can go do a Toronto Blue Jays halftime show in the 7th inning. He can sing that.
Yeah.
Sing that, Drake.
He might even be able to get a Houston Astros win now.
Since
now he's a Houston native.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's from the South.
That's what they say.
Yep.